I am a humanist. Yes, I welcome you, especially this evening. Yeah, we are looking at a very important subject, and it's a subject that is core to the African culture and the African people. So I welcome you, especially. Today is the second day of me, having a live broadcast here on YouTube. And so please encourage me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Encourage me by at least watching and commenting. Let me hear your view and your disposition. Today we are looking at the African culture or traditional worship. Traditional worship evil? It's a question. It's a question. Is the African traditional worship evil? We need to hear. I need to hear your view. If you have an experience or you felt something is not right, I need to hear your view. Is the African tradition evil? Because we came from a background where we practically demonize what is ours. We hardly revere and celebrate our own. And most of us, while growing up, got introduced to such mindset that what is Africa? What is Africa is evil, and what is foreign is best. We demonize our own, but I want us to really talk and face it objectively. Is the African culture evil? Now let's go back to the real issue. Recently I from a pastor I respect, I heard him saying that the reason why the Africans embraced Christianity was because Christianity brought life, and Christianity brought progress, and that's why Africans rushed to embrace Christianity at against the African traditional worship that he said is evil and demonic. And when I heard that, I was so it wasn't pleasant, because coming from someone that should be learned enough to know that what the colonial masters did to us was to demarket our own and demonize African culture just for them to sell Christianity to us. It is not that Christianity or the African, it is not that the African culture is evil. We have had several practices by our great grandparents, and these practices are not just because it's not just designated just for Africa. It's not just Africans alone that have had such practice. We've had even America, other parts of the world have had practices where their traditional worship or traditional religion got to do with what they call human sacrifice and all of that. So it is not just Africa. Even in China, in Japan, and part of Asia, most of their ancient practices got to do with human sacrifice. Yeah, thank you so much. Please, as you are here, thank you so much. I welcome you specially. Yeah, hi, thank you so much. Amri, thank you. I welcome you, distinguished Amri. Thank you so much. And feel very free to share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be so grateful. Bro, how are you doing? I'm fine. How you doing too, man? How you doing? I'm fine. I'm cool. We are looking at our African culture, African tradition, and we are saying, is African tradition demonic? Is it evil? Because we have seen a whole lot of people demonizing and making our African culture tradition, making it look like it is evil and bad. But it is not true. It is not true. Most time when Christianity came to Africa, they came with that mindset of demonizing. Okay, where am I from? Okay, I'm from Nigeria, West Africa, Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. And what about you? Where are you from? Where are you from? Yeah, where are you from? Feel very free. Help me share. Let's connect with like minds. Let's follow each other. Help me share and subscribe to this channel, please. We are looking at African culture and traditional worship. Is it evil? Is it evil? When Christianity came to Africa, they literally demonized everything we had, demonized all our practices, and made it look like these things are evil. And that's just because they wanted to sell Christianity to us. And when we talk about the African tradition being evil, it's laughable. It's laughable because if you read your Bible and you see most of the practices in the Bible, either by God or the people of God, I've not seen anything that is more evil than that. So for you now, African practice and tradition, and say our traditional worship is evil, and that's why many of you embrace Christianity. Something is wrong. Something is basically practically wrong, because our practice, there is no perfect, historical religion in terms of cultural practice. There's no perfect one. All of them, even America down to Europe and Asia, all of them evolved by information, having a better opportunity to learn. And some of the practices they were doing traditionally, they had to abandon them because of proper education, proper information. So when you look at us in Africa and say what we are doing is evil, and that is why Christianity is in Africa, you are not honest. You are either trying to demarket your culture just to embrace something foreign. And it's so pathetic how we do that, because if you look at the culture of Africa, Africa has one of the best culture in the world. Best culture in the world. Children brought up in Africa tend to grow well, tend to do well in all areas. So when you look at our culture and say that our culture is evil and the Jesus culture is better, I think something is wrong with you. Because even if you read your Bible, most of the practices in your Bible doesn't show that the Bible culture is even the best, or is even an alternative. And that's, as a humanist, I do not condole when religious people try to demarket, and it's just common. The Greeks and all of that, down to the Roman Empire, all of them, that's what they did. They had to keep demarketing one practice or the other, one religion or the other, one culture or the other, just to impose their own culture and making their culture more superior. And it has so much invaded Africa that most of us Africans have demonized our culture, abandoned our culture, and embraced European culture. Most of us that are Africans now do not even have respect or value for our culture. All because somebody told you that. All because, somebody informed you that your culture is evil. Some of us never witnessed where the evil part of the culture is being practiced. But because somebody told you an information you heard, you had to just believe and had to run with that narrative. And they did that just because they wanted to sell the Jesus message to you. It is high time we wake up. Look at our culture. And like I said, before I came online, I had to do a whole lot of research. There are no countries or no group of people that never had that historical culture of where their great-great-grandparents practice something that is awkward, maybe like human sacrifice, or like taking some revenge on behalf of God or their king, or maybe their king, they want to bury their king, and they have to use human sacrifice. So it's normal, it's common, but by virtue of growth and evolution, um, people growing, and things are changing. People are learning every day. So for you now to resort that, it is common in Africa and it's dominating Africa, and that's why Christianity came to Africa, and that's why most of you embrace Christianity, something is wrong. It's just packaged. Somebody just lied to you. Africa is one of the best continents. Africa has one of the best culture. And for you now to think that, your culture is bad, and the culture of the Bible, or one white man's culture, is better than your culture, so you have to abandon your culture. You have to run after that person's culture. You have to uproot anything that got to do with your own culture and to embrace that culture. Something is wrong with you. I think for me, you are suffering inferiority complex. You are suffering inferiority complex. Please check on Facebook whether I'm live on Facebook. On my wall. You are suffering inferiority complex, and you need to wake up from that. You need to wake up. There's nothing wrong with your culture, and daily our culture is evolving. Daily is evolving, it's transiting. So whatever our grandparents practiced before that were not human, today we are no more practicing them. And what are the progress that you think Christianity brought? Look at Africa. Africa, like my country, Nigeria, I think almost 99% of Nigerians are religious, either Christians or Muslims. And look at the level of progress, the so-called progress you said religion or Christianity brought. We are the progress. When we talk about corruption, it seems like our country is like the epic, the home of corruption. When we talk about insecurity, you see our country seems like the home of insecurity. When we talk about injustice, human rights abuse. So what is the progress, the so-called progress that you claim that religion or Christianity brought to Africa? These things are fallacy. These things we say these things to demarket ourselves, to demarket our culture, to make to make our culture evil and to embrace other people's culture. But we are saying enough is enough. It is high time we wake up and understand that the African culture is not evil. The African culture is the best. And if I don't, of course, I don't believe in God, but I so much believe in my culture. I believe in my heritage, having great respect for my culture and heritage. So if you think that there's a God somewhere and that God had to use the culture of the Israelites or the Europeans, and you have to, for you to believe, for you to follow that God to wherever you want, you have to abandon your culture, then something is wrong with you. The culture that have to be, the God that have to select, that is so selective in culture, he have to select a particular culture to use to invade your life or to win you back to himself. I think something is wrong with you. We need to wake up. Africa is a great continent. Africa has one of the best culture, and the best time to develop and to build that culture is now. The best time to show this same culture to the world is now. We have one of the best culture. Please, like I said, feel very free to share and like what the live, like it, share it. Let's connect like minds and follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. I want to get to meet you. Subscribe, and I will subscribe to yours too. Yes, we are talking about African culture. Is African culture demonic? And I will tell you no. Most of the corruption we have seen in Africa are practiced by those that embrace foreign cultures. Those that embrace foreign cultures. Like in my culture, my culture do not permit corruption. And these political elites and most of these politicians, they know that if we are to practice our culture, most of them will not have place in crime, in corruption, in public fund embezzlement. Most of them that are embezzling public fund, they can't even try it because our culture doesn't permit it. If you see them when they are taking oath of office, or maybe when they are doing one or two things, they take oath. They use the Bible, they use the Quran. Why not use the deity of their culture, their village? You see that now. The deity, that's the deity of their village. Let them swear with that and see whether these politicians will indulge in corruption, whether they will still get themselves involved in misappropriation of public fund and all of that. And they know that. And that's why they had to use the shorter route, the escape route, which is the Bible or the Quran, because they know that nothing will happen to them. There are no consequences. And that's why they do that. There are no consequences. Africa, if you look at us, before we got colonized, Africa was developing at our pace. As a matter of fact, when you trace civilization back to Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia. We have it all. Most of the things we do here in Africa, sometimes I wonder who taught us. How did we get to know all of that? And it's clear that the human mind has the ability to grow without being supervised. The human nature, the human mind has the ability to grow without being supervised. Yes, it has the ability to develop. So when people said, oh, yes, the colonial masters, oh, the Christian brought development, it is not true. Africa, we are really developing at our pace, And I would have loved it. For me, I think Christianity and the colonial masters invaded and crashed our development, crashed our growth process. I would have loved them to allow Africa grow at their pace. Yes, it would have been so beautiful. It would have been so lovely for us to grow at our pace. Look at what we are doing today. If you look at our cultural food, the food we eat, nobody taught us how to process these things. Today, while I was eating, I was using palm oil. And I was wondering who taught my great-grandfather that from palm fruit you can extract fluid or a liquid from it and it becomes oil that you can use that to cook your food. Who taught them? That is what we are talking about. We had everything as a continent, as a country, and as a continent. So for anybody to make you feel inferior that, oh, yes, Christianity brought this, brought that, no way. As a matter of fact, Christianity distorted the growth process. It aborted the growth process. And it is high time we begin to have respect and value for our culture. When you see people demonizing their culture, something is wrong with them. They have inferiority complex. If you look at continent like the Asian continent, they were colonized too. Like China was colonized, Japan got colonized, Saudi, United Arab Emirates, they were all colonized. They still retain their culture. And for me, I give it to them. When you don't allow anybody to take your culture away from you, because your culture is your identity, it's who you are. It's who you are. Your culture is who you are. It is high time we wake up and treasure and have great respect and value for our culture. Don't sell it out for anybody or for anything. Don't let anybody make you feel inferior. The Jesus gospel or the heaven thing that they come sell to you. Of course, they were able to destroy our great-grandparents, but not with us. They can't try that with us. Yes, they can't try that with us because we have a better understanding of life. We have a better understanding of how things work. The African culture is the best. It is so pathetic when I see people traveling for pilgrimage. Everybody, Africans are leaving their continent, traveling to Israel, traveling to Saudi Arabia, and you ask them what are they going there? They tell you they are going for religious pilgrimage. What happened to your own continent? What happened to your own culture, your own traditional worship, what your great-grandparents had for you, what your ancestors, the role they played to sustain your tribe, your culture, your dialect for you. You demonize them. You call them, somebody look at them and said they are idol worshippers. Very pathetic. And you ask yourself, the Christians, have you ever seen their God? The Christians, have you ever seen their God? How does their God look like? Have you ever seen? Now, our ancestors, our great-grandparents had image. The image, let me tell you the concept of the image. The image was formed from documentary. Most times when they had these warriors that go to war, fight for them, win battle for them, and in their time they had no camera to capture memories. They had no phones to capture memories. So what they do is to document this thing using sculpture, using stone and all of that to keep memory. It's for memory. So, and when people now look at these things, they now describe them or ascribe to them as idol worshippers. You people are worshiping idol. Okay, you Christians, what do you worship? Imaginary God. Have you ever seen God? God that you have never seen, you worship him. Now our ancestors that now have respect for their culture, that sculpts them in either in stone or in cave in different form, you now demonize them. We have to wake up, and I love the resistance that is happening now. Yes, Africans are waking up. Africans are waking up, and we are not going to allow any religion demonize our culture anymore in any form. We are not going to allow it. It is high time you wake up. We wake up. Yes, please feel very free. Subscribe to my channel and please encourage me. Drop a comment if what I'm saying is making sense to you. Let me get the feedback via the comment section. I want to know what does it make sense to you. If it makes sense, please drop a comment and please subscribe to my channel. Let's encourage me. This is my second day on this platform on YouTube Live. So please drop a comment and subscribe to my channel. Please like what I'm doing and encourage me. Yeah. So like I said, our culture is perfect. It's great. There's no culture in the world that have not gone through process. No culture. Even America, they had their own hot side, they had their own bad side. And for you now to wake up and demonize your culture because somebody told you about one culture that they painted it and make it look so perfect, something is wrong with you. If you look at the Bible God unalive a whole lot of people. If you read about the Bible God, down he unalive a whole lot of people. He quiet whole lot of people. So is that culture perfect? Is that the kind of culture you want to emulate? And now people tell you your own parents are idol worshippers. They are worshiping imaginary God, a God see a God that they have no access to, just born out of imagination, human concussion. People concocted something and everybody's jumping on it, and now make them to demonize what our great grandparent Africa, the Africa we have, they demonize it and make us look like what we did or what our parents had for us are all evil. We better wake up. And I'm happy we are waking up. I'm happy we are resisting it. We are not going to allow anybody demonize our culture. No way. We are not going to allow anybody ridicule our culture. You can do whatever you want to do, but don't downplay, don't undermine our culture. The African culture is not evil. It's not evil. It has great potency. It has great powers. We have seen how, you know, I'm from Benue State here in Nigeria. We had what we call Akpan. Akpan is the traditional cultural heritage. And that Akpan, if you are an Igede person, it protects you. People can't just hurt you. That's a culture. That's what our ancestors, great grandparents, had loyalty to. And for you now to come and say that thing is evil, something is wrong with you. I remember the other day when I wrote about the Igede culture, and somebody told me that they remember when there are people, there are people from the eastern part of Nigeria. We're having, I think they were having invaders invading their villages and all of that. That was many years ago, invading their villages, and they had to come to Igede land to secure the Akpan for protection. And Akpan protected them. Yes, secure them. These things work. Do you understand? I may not believe in these things, but for anybody to come demonize our culture, to uphold a foreign culture that do not even exist or do not have power, we won't allow it. Whatever I'm saying that look, the African culture not to demonize it. There are practices that we can improve on. There are practices that we can evolve, like do away with, but not to demonize it and throw it away and embrace some culture and say, oh, my own is evil and the other one is better than mine. No way. It is high time we wake up. The African culture is not evil. Africa has one of the best culture. So we have to wake up. And that's what I have to say to us tonight. The African culture is a great culture, and we must never allow anybody make us to look down at our culture. We must never allow anybody make us to transact our culture, like sell out our culture. That was what our great grandparents did. But we can't do that anymore. We are ready to uphold our culture. We are ready to stand by our culture. We are ready to protect the sanctity of our culture. Thank you so much for viewing, and we have a little setback. I think power outage and the standby power has a fault. But what I have to say is that African culture is not evil. Africa has one of the best culture in the world. It may have our lapses, but that should not make us demonize it, because that culture is great. It is high time we respect, we celebrate our culture. We should not, because of the invasion of intruders like the Christians and the Muslims, and now discard your culture. No way. Your culture is your identity. Your culture is your pride. Yes, your pride. You should be proud in your culture. Your culture is your identity. You should identify with your culture. You should not allow anybody make you feel inferior. Why should you even feel inferior that you're an African? For what? For who? You never decided to come here. You found yourself here. So make do with it. Celebrate it. Work head tall. Promote your culture. All cultures undergo transition, like I said. So it is high time we respect and value our culture. It is high time we uphold our culture. And that's why Africa is not really developing, because we demonize what should help us grow, what should make us grow, our identity. We demonize and ridicule our identity. Why should we? Why should we demonize our culture and our identity? Why? For what? When countries like Asia, the Asian continent, like the United Arab Emirates, even in Europe, they are all proud of their culture, proud to be identified as at whatever they are. But here we are demonizing our culture. No way. It is high time, if you're an African person or you're a lover of the African continent, not just an African, whoever you are, wherever you're watching from, be proud of your culture. Be proud of your identity. Your identity should not be what should be sold or be transacted for anybody. Don't transact it for anybody. Be proud of your identity. Help me like what we are doing. Help me share, and drop a comment if you understood what I said. Drop a comment. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. I'll be right back same time next week when we look at another topic. Today we looked at the African culture. Is the African culture evil? And the answer is no. The African culture is not evil. Some of the practices may be awkward, may be obsolete, but they are not evil. And the African culture is evolving. And as an African person, as an African and Africans, we should embrace our culture. We should be proud of our culture. We should uphold our culture. We should promote our culture wherever we go. We shouldn't feel inferior to anybody to transact or sell out your culture. Oh, I don't want people to know that I'm in Nigeria. No, I don't want people to know that I'm an African. It doesn't work anywhere. The way my color is, you come here anytime, no wahala. But don't ever feel inferior to anybody because they said you're an African person. Africa is a great continent. Africans are great people, and we must stand there. And together, we shall make the African continent great. Thank you so much, and have a great day.